Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I am not an unboxing or a review channel by any stretch of the imagination. That's not what I do on a normal basis. But I have a few things. I have actually, 3 or 4 things in the next like 4 or 5 days that I'm going to be reviewing. I have 2 today for sure that are going to be unboxed. And kind of just not really a review. Well, one will absolutely be a review. And we'll see how that is. It's for a friend of mine. It doesn't matter though. Honest opinions are you can't buy an opinion. Well, you can, but you can't buy an honest one. All right, you can't buy an honest opinion. So that will absolutely be an honest opinion. The other one though, will mostly just be a little toy that I bought today. I have, let's see if I'll take you around to the side. So, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago almost, I put up, in a very short span of time, let me try and get out of the sun a little bit. I put up a fence around my property, and I have yet to, so everything was done pretty much by hand. I dug all the holes by hand. I should have gotten an auger, but I didn't have a second person kind of thing. So as you can see, I have a few posts all the way around that are above the fence line. We're selling our house very soon. So that's, all of this is kind of started to have to happen like ASAP, right? So today I have a sawzall, right? I have a, sorry, that was absolutely my finger just covering the camera because I'm once again doing this off my phone because I am a poor person and can't afford a real camera, but that's okay because this phone is great. I have a 18 volts rechargeable sawzall that it works fine for little things like pruning trees and stuff like that. It works great for that kind of stuff. What it doesn't work great for is big things, cutting big stuff, cutting big pieces of lumber, stuff like that. Those 4x4 posts back there, it's not gonna, it might go through 1 or 2, but I have like 12 that I need to go through. So today I bought the Harbor Freight Special Bauer 10 amp variable speed 0 to 2500 strokes per minute, reciprocating saw, sawzall. So it is apparently the industry-leading anti-vibration control. I mean, the packaging is pretty nice from the onset, so we'll see. Tool-free blade change. I mean, I think that's kind of standard at this point, but whatever. Harbor Freight Special. So I picked this bad boy up for about $57, I think, or $52, something like that. So anyway, we're sitting here. Hold on, let me adjust this real quick so you can kind of see a little bit of everything. I'm on the hood of my truck. All right. So I've cut the tape on this already. I have yet to take it out of the box. I haven't even looked in the box yet, so we'll see. As far as opening it goes, 2 pieces of tape, cut through both of those with a little box cutter. Well, if I can get it, a little tab out. All right, tabs are open. And packaging is, well, there is no packaging. It's in a plastic bag. What did I expect from Harbor Freight? Well, just exactly this. Absolutely not let down by that at all. So totally fine. Everything seems to be at least wrapped up well enough. So it's at least heavy. I'll give it that. It's heavy. It's pretty big. It's actually, plastic bag is kind of, I mean, fucking plastic bag. What all's in here? So let's pull everything out real quick that's in the container. User's manual, we'll throw that out because I'm a real man and I don't use that. And a Bauer heavy duty bi-metal blade. I will probably use this later on to cut the exhaust off my truck. That's another thing I got going on today. Putting a Ford Lightning style exhaust, custom made exhaust onto the Mazda. Owner's manual and safety instructions, very cool. Don't really care. Yeah, Don't really care. It's a Sawzall. I know how to use a Sawzall. From the onset, construction-wise, it's pretty nice. I mean, it's hefty. It's got some weight to it. Can't really. Okay. Safety's kind of. It's got an interesting little safety. Looks like some variable speed set up on the top. Maybe I'll look into that a little bit more. But I mean, it looks pretty decent. The cord doesn't detach, which I wish that it did. My dad has a really nice Milwaukee, and the cord on that detaches. Obviously, it's a Milwaukee. That thing was like probably $400 when my dad bought it like 15 years ago or 20 years ago. I was knee high to a grasshopper when he got that thing, so yeah, and it's still running. The chuck is kind of interesting. Not sure that I'm sold on it, but I guess it seems like it works fine. I mean, it just rotates around, so we'll see. Let's grab out that, actually, while we're just sitting here, let's grab out this bi-metal cutting blade, just to snap it in there and see what it says. This blade is super cheap, fairly flimsy, but you know, whatever. So pretty much, I mean, bog standard, I guess. I mean, it seems like it holds it in there pretty well. The foot, I mean, it's brand new, so the foot is a little stiff, but I mean, it's already loosening up, so that'll loosen up nicely, I think, once it wears off. So there's a bunch of paint down and around the little joint right here. That'll all wear off, obviously. It's actually really not bad. I mean, it's pretty minimal. It's definitely meant to look like a Milwaukee or a Makita, or not Makita, DeWalt, in the way that it's shaped. I'm not super thrilled with this. I'm not super thrilled with this chuck and piston, or whatever you want to call it, shaft. It doesn't look super robust. It doesn't look super rigid. I'm sure it'll do just fine. It seems like it's pretty solidly constructed. The fact that it's wide open, I don't know if you guys can, yeah, that's a little bit better. The fact that it's kind of wide open in here, I don't know, it throws me off a little bit. But being $60, let's say, with tax, here in North Carolina, it's not bad. It's really not bad. It looks like you can take this off. There's a couple little Allen keys right in here, so it looks like it can be taken apart fairly easy if you needed to clean it out, or if it had, you know, some issues going on. I can't get over the weight. It's heavy. It's hefty. It's a thick boy. So I do like this. We're gonna throw some gloves on, run an extension cord out the back door, and see how she goes. All right, so we're back with the Bauer 10 amp reciprocating saw from Harbor Freight, the $60 Harbor Freight special. So I did try and record some footage of it actually cutting. The footage was terrible, so I was doing it on my own. My wife is actually working right now, so I wasn't gonna interrupt what she's doing just to take some not shaky video of this actually cutting. So I was cutting some 4x4 posts, and like I said earlier, I bought this just as kind of a stand-in, as something that because I needed a Sawzall that was not a rechargeable. So what we were using to cut was also a Harbor Freight. Yeah, I still, even after using it, I still do not like this chuck setup. It's awkward. I like the DeWalt lever action on the side. I think that's a really good DeWalt Porter cable. I believe, what is it, Metabo now? It used to be Hitachi. They all use that. It's like a lever action on the side. I really like that. I think it's very clean. It's very simple, and I think it's a better design. What I was using to cut those 4x4 fence posts was one of these, and I actually think I still have one If I plan this out right, I still have one in my pocket, but it doesn't look like I do. Let me actually walk into the garage with you and we'll go get one. So my garage is a disaster right now, but I want you guys to know what we were using. And this is it right here. All right, let's walk back out here. Whew. Totally unprepared. Sorry, super unprofessional, but I'm not a professional at this. This is something I do just because I can. So it was one of these Bauer heavy duty, what is it, 9-inch bimetal wood with nails. It's their demolition blade, or that's what they call it anyway. They call it the demo blade. So I got it because I was basically demolishing some fence posts. I figured, hey, they're aggressive. Let's see what happens. It is a 9-inch 5-tooth per inch saw blade, so it's pretty aggressive. I tell you what though, 10 out of 10. I'm gonna spoil it right here. 10 out of 10. This saw and these blades, best thing at Harbor Freight. I know Harbor Freight gets a lot of hate. I have a lot of Harbor Freight tools. The table saw that I use on a regular basis, the drill press I use on a regular basis. Now the drill press, that's another story. I have some serious issues with that thing. And I'm definitely going to be upgrading to something way better down the road when money permits. But Harbor Freight came through with this saw. This Bauer 10-amp saw, I mean, the thing cuts great. I literally, so walking back and forth across my yard, which is an acre, I have an acre lot. I cut 24, that's what I counted, 25 fence posts, and including walking time back and forth to get an extension cord, or an extra extension cord, because I ran out of foot. I tell you what, I did all of it in 15 minutes tops, and most of that was me walking. This thing went, I could cut through 2 or 3 posts in a couple of minutes. I mean, it was 30, maybe 40 seconds, if not less than that, per cut. And it was incredible. These blades, I mean, the blade that I was actually using, I used one blade, did all of them, held up incredibly. And this thing's still sharp. And I feel like this one definitely got sharper. After I was about 5 cuts in, it started cutting a lot faster. I think some of that was the saw started actually heating up. You could smell it when I would stop between cuts. You could smell the saw. It's, you know, that new burning odor. These blades were fantastic. I would absolutely. So saw blades are one of those things, like, you generally want to spend quality money. I'm honestly a big fan of Irwin blades, aren't we all? If you use saw blades, Irwin is kind of, I mean, I've had good luck with Craftsman blades too. They're not known for their blades, but they're pretty decent. I tell you what, these Bauer blades, I was absolutely impressed with. I'd like to get a couple of their bigger, like 12-inch chop saw blades and put them in the chop saw and do some of my wife's projects. I'd like to cut up some of those boxes that she makes with one of those. But anyway, enough about the blades. Let me set those off to the side for a minute, put those in my pocket. That's really safe. Don't do that. Don't do most of the things I do, I guess. Let's talk a little bit more about this Bauer saw. Cord length, it's about, what, 6 feet? 6-ish, maybe 7 feet. I'm 6 foot tall, so it's not too bad. The anti-vibration, definitely did not feel that, did not care for, I mean, it's a Sawzall. It's gonna vibrate you, it's gonna rattle your dome a little bit, but I mean, overall, super comfortable. It is heavy, I will say that. So if you need something light, this is not for you. It is big, it is a little bulky. Again though, I don't think that's to its detriment. For what this tool is used for, it is a demolition tool. And it should be used in a demolition capacity. And for as big and as bulky as it is, I believe that it puts out the power that it needs to. Handle is plenty comfortable. This little button here is the only thing that I have a serious gripe with. This locks back your trigger so it stays on. I don't like that. I am one of those people that's all about taking the safeties off of everything. This is, I don't have a guard on my table saw, which is really dumb, I know. But this is stupid. This is asinine. I get the concept behind it, but the fact that I just want it to be a lockout, so I can't pull the trigger. Instead, I pull the trigger and lock the trigger in. I mean, you drop this thing, and you can cut your fucking leg off. This is the one thing that, and I may reach out. I may see if I can reach out to Bauer and talk to them about this, because this is the one thing that oh man, this is the one thing I don't like. This needs to go away. It actually stuck on me. So at one point, I was right over here, right at the front. And, you know, I was going through and I had switched hands. So I'm ambidextrous. I do both with left and right. And I had switched hands and I had flipped it up and I was sawing. And well, that's all it takes. Sawing, came off, and that trigger was locked back. I was like, what the hell is going on here? Hit that trigger again and it came off. So that's the one thing I don't like. I don't like this. This is dumb. This is not safe. I don't really care too much about safety per se. Now, I do care about safety. I wear gloves, I wear eye protection, things like that. But this is stupid. This is ridiculous. I don't like this. I am going to reach out to Harbor Freight and to Bauer. I don't know if they're a company that I can actually get a hold of, but I'm definitely going to and see what we can do about this, because this is stupid. I get it. In concept, in theory, it's a good idea. In practice, it's a terrible idea. As far as working goes, this thing works phenomenal. I still don't like this chuck on here, but hey, you know what? You win some, you lose some on that. The foot loosened up a lot. It's super easy. I do wish it was a little shorter. I wish that I either A, had a little longer stroke length, or that this, like, the foot was back. I mean, just a half an inch. A half an inch would make this thing that much more compact and a little bit easier to wiggle into some of the spots where I was getting it into to cut off some of those. Let's talk about this foregrip. This foregrip is actually, so it's a super hard rubber, but it's got enough flex to it, and I believe there's a plastic backing inside of there as well. The whole thing is plastic or polymer constructed. I'm not really sure. It's pretty rugged. This rubber, though, I really like. It was actually very comfortable to hold on to. I've got pretty big hands. My wife has itty bitty hands. She would not be comfortable holding this. If you've got small hands, probably not for you. But for standard, and I hate to say this and sound terrible, but for your standard dude who is in the demolition field or who is in the construction field, go away, airplane. This is gonna work fine. Ladies, if you are looking at this and you're thinking, man, that thing seems a bit hefty, it probably is, I'll be honest. But generally speaking, even still, once you get the angle down and once you get your hand comfortable on there, it has a nice lip all the way around it that really does, it holds your hand back away from the blade. So I had no issues like flinging this thing all over the place. I didn't feel like my hand was going to go into that blade at any point. I like it. I do. I really like this thing. I think it's other than this lock on, lock off thing, I think this is a well thought out saw. Packaging was less than impressive. I don't really care. Packaging was absolutely bare minimum, and you know what? That's fine with me. That box is going to get thrown out anyway. Let's be real. The box is going to get thrown out. So for anybody who thinks, oh, well, my saw's going to get bounced around and banged up, and where are you going to put this thing? You're probably going to throw it in the back of your truck, or you're going to throw it, you know, in the bottom of your toolbox or whatever, and it's going to get beat up anyway. If you're worried about the fact that there's no packaging that comes in this box, you need to worry about something different. Or you need to just buy a saw that you're paying $15 of the cost on in packaging. Low cost, sub $60 saw, 10 out of 10. I absolutely recommend this thing. This thing was phenomenal. Never got hot. It never heated up. The little Porter cable that I have, when you use it regularly and consistently, it does heat up. And this had no issues with it. So absolutely would recommend the Bauer 10 amp Harbor Freight Special. This thing is pretty sweet. Anyway, that's it for today. Tune in next time. I'm going to try and do a few more reviews. Maybe I'm going to try and maybe do something at least every other week. Try and get a new toy in here to review, or do something, or upload something that veers away a little bit from what I do on a regular basis, which is mostly motivation and I don't know, I hate to say life coaching because it's not really life coaching, but I do want to start doing some more stuff like this. I'm going to review some of the other tools I have in the garage, because some of them are Harbor Freight specials. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Have a good rest of your day.